Hello and welcome to Strange Stories. It's great to have you here. We are all about sharing stories of near-death experiences from around the world in the hopes of bringing some light and inspiration to your day. Our daily videos offer a glimpse into what lies beyond this life, and we believe that they can help us all appreciate the gift of life a little bit more. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue to grow. And to our returning viewers, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you with us again. So go ahead, grab a cozy blanket, get comfy, and join us for today's incredible near-death experience story. I was an agnostic college student on my way to run the Austin 10K when I was involved in a head-on collision on my way to the race and broke my back in 3 places. 3 vertebrae were completely shattered, compromising the spine. Bone fragments were pressing against my spine. I was in the emergency room for 17 hours. I recall reading that there was a 17% chance of death. No way, I thought. I'm young and strong. I'm about to run a race. There's no way I'm going to die. So you can imagine my horror, excitement, and joy when I died on that operating table. And being an atheist, I assumed that we simply vanished. You know, there was nothing when we died. Perhaps our energy dissipated into the grass, trees, and earth, and that was the end of it. So when I had this deeper intelligence as a spirit, I was taken aback because I had placed so much emphasis on my brain that when my spirit form lifted out of my body, I thought, oh, I'm so clear. This is the genuine me. This is my spirit form. That body on the table is just a bloody piece of meat that they're operating on and that I'm using to get by in this life. But the spirit is the true me. And it was so clear over there, like in those first few seconds, that my intelligence immediately felt more heightened. I had the impression that I could see the entire room. I was able to see what the surgeons were doing. I was able to observe and comprehend a large amount of information at the same time. And, we're not constrained by straight-ahead vision. We can see everything when we are in spirit form. Then I noticed these angels at the foot of the bed, which I did not refer to as angels. And I'm still comfortable calling them light beings because they were made of light. So if you imagine only this flowing energy, they resemble robes. I didn't notice any wings. If they had wings behind them, they were probably just part of the flowing robe, but they looked ancient. They appeared to be extremely intelligent. They did have a human face and curly hair about shoulder length, but they could have been either male or female. I just looked at them and thought they were lovely. The important thing to remember is that their eyes were made of this light, and they communicated through their eyes using telepathy. That was the part that really got to me. Wow, this light not only communicates with me, but it also sends healing into my spirit form and healing into my physical body. And I remember thinking, those neurosurgeons, I bet they have no idea the angels are assisting them because the angels said, watch this. And they sent this light through the surgeons' backs, through their hands, and it illuminated my entire body. And I knew I was going to walk. I knew I was going to flee. After this, I knew I'd have a life. And I knew it was partly due to their assistance. And this was back in the 1990s. So you have to imagine that Reiki is fairly well known, and that people used angelic realms to assist people in healing. I'd never heard of it before, so this appeared to be the most bizarre scene I'd ever seen in my life. Wow, I thought. So this intelligence is working for me through the neurosurgeons. How amazing is that? When the monitor went flat, the next part of the near-death experience began. We've all heard that noise, and I knew that beep meant my body was dead, and it already appeared gruesome. My back was exposed. They also opened up my hip because they were taking bone from my hip and inserting it into my back. And I remember thinking, I'm not sure I want to see how they're going to revive me. This is not going to end well. This is going to be a disaster. As a result, I left the operating room, and I saw my stepdad get a candy bar while I was in the hallway. Later, this became a verifiable detail. But I just remember thinking at the time, oh, that's funny that he was a health nut. He's eating a Snickers bar and has moved on from the situation. But I hoped he'd be nice to my mother if I didn't return. So, Despite the angel's assurances that I'd be able to walk and run again, I believe there was this embrace of the spirit form, and it was almost as if I was attempting to seize control of that and flee, knowing that I didn't have to return. From now on, this could be my only reality. The next few parts of the near-death experience that changed me the most were this feeling of oneness with everyone I've ever known. And I believe we need more of that in these times. We need to understand what all of this will mean in 50 or 100 years. What is important is how we treat those around us. And this can include people at the grocery store, baristas, anyone in our classes, or people we work with, because we're all connected energetically, and there's a oneness of energy that flows through all of humanity. When you are unkind to others, it reflects back to you in various ways. So I felt this kind of general love for everyone I'd ever known, and realized that when we leave here, all we're taking with us is this kind of wish for humanity to do well, to be better, to be happy. Then I moved on to the next thing. Some people call it a tunnel, and it was extremely fast for me. I was just looking up at the night sky, and I looked out and I saw all these beautiful stars in this light. I wasn't scared. There was not a single moment in this experience when I was afraid. And what I want people to understand is that many people live in fear of death while in their physical bodies. That is something I am aware of. But once you're there, it's not all that frightening. It's just another fact of life. So I felt God's intelligence approaching me in that place. God revealed my life to me. I relived certain moments, the most important of which were those in which I was kind or in touch with God. Then God revealed to me that I should be more of a person. I was more of a person who God showed me that I should be kinder to others. At the age of 22, I was judgmental, cliquish, and looked down on those who prayed for me. I disliked them because, I don't know, they didn't attend my college. They did not attend college at all. As a result, I assumed I had nothing in common with them. But it turned out that their hearts and souls were stunning, and the way it acted embarrassed me. And I resolved that from now on, I would not judge people superficially. I'm looking into their eyes. Who exactly are they? What is their true driving force in life? And how do they treat others? And that lesson has played out so many times now. There are a lot of manipulative people in the world. And there are so many people who do not come from a pure heart. And I believe God was showing me that there are some people who come from a pure heart and find you and make you their friends. And so I saw that very clearly before moving on to this beautiful landscape with the grass that was beautiful, so deeply green, as if nothing had ever touched it. There was no death or injury. Everything was brimming with life, and my soul seemed to float above this place. I began to hear messages as I was entering heaven, like love is all that matters, all that we take with us. Be like a little child. These messages, on the other hand, appear straightforward, and I honestly remember thinking, oh God, please give me more. If I'm going to return, I need more than a Beatles slogan about love being all that matters. As if you need to give me some formulas or gifts or something. As if this isn't enough. All that matters is love. But as I saw it, when I met my grandfather, he was a part of the unconditional love I'd known all my life. And he was the only one who had gone through the transition. He gave me great peace when I saw him. And I thought to myself, well, all I have are memories of love with him. I don't remember his dying form or what he looked like when he had leukemia in that place. I only recall his soul's desire to write stories to me, to connect with me, to be that loving grandfather, to be that figure in my life who showed me how important I was. And it was stunning. That was all we had in that realm, the love we had experienced. When he looked at me and asked, "Do you want to continue?" I said yes. I knew this meant go to God's light, so I just took off. My soul was drawn to God, who appeared as a bright light. But it wasn't just a light. It was cleverness. It was made of magnets. It was something that altered my life. I can't express how shocking it was. I'd only ever known love in bits and pieces before, like from my grandfather, parents, and friends. But this was like an atomic bomb of love because it was so large. It just struck me. And I thought, wow, we spend so much of our time in physical form not loving ourselves, not being happy with our circumstances, feeling anxious, we just spend so much of our time not really understanding that we're connected to the greatest love on the planet that we can imagine, and that we can all be at ease. We can all feel the bliss of knowing that this is our divine right, and what we deserve. Every single one of us can relate to this love, no matter how we were treated as children or what we've been through. I could feel people's prayers pulling me back, and I remember breaking through them and saying, whatever, I'm going to God. God is amazing. And as I got closer to God, I didn't want to return here. After experiencing God, this location did not seem appealing. I thought I really wanted to keep merging with God, going into that light and beauty. At some point, I was stopped, and God said, "Look down," in a booming voice. And when I looked down, I saw this river, which reminded me of the river of life. You know those people who walk in time, so I was disappointed when God told me I'd be a teacher. That was not my intention for my life. I grew up in poverty. No way, no how, no how. Let's just stay here or assign me another mission. And God nearly laughed at me. And then I was thrown back into my body. What brings us here? That is, after all, a good question. I believe our souls are similar to travelers or warriors. We're trying to learn something in a dramatic way by coming here, you know? And those of us who remember it, well, we've won, in a way. It's as if no matter what happens from now on, we've already won. We've got it. We were reminded. We're in love. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to do our best from now on.